And welcome back to the Form is Temporary podcast. My name is Roberto, FPL Yellow Army. And once again, as a co-host of the pod this week, I've got Jack. It's good to have you back, Jack. How are you?
I'm back, baby. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling well. Maybe not after my FPL week, but we'll get onto that in a bit. But yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really, really good. And we have some great guests on this week. A couple of weeks ago, or it feels like a couple of weeks, it was actually a bit longer than that. But yeah, legendary pod, of course, the only one bonus point with Law, RJ, and Ray. Unfortunately, couldn't be here tonight. But it's great to have you guys. Law and RJ, how are both of you?
Good, thank you.
Man. Thanks for having us.
Yep, Thank you very much for having us. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, it should be really good. It's an absolute pleasure. And, you guys always say on your YouTube channel that you're babies at this game, but you still have a lot of like good tech and a lot of, great graphics and stuff. We're just a podcast. We're stumbling, first feet, we're starting out and we're doing our best, but it's great to have you on. So yeah, we'll cover kind of a few things this episode. Of course, AFCON and Asia Cup are going to be starting very, very soon. So we've got players to sell for that. Also, we've got obviously the threshold has just passed for the yellow card suspension, so that's a kind of nice relief to see a lot of players.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, even if they picked up their fifth yellow, like that, for instance, Trent, he's not going to be suspended, so it's all scrapped, and they now reset to 10. Obviously, they've got a bit more to get those bookings, but there's still players like Jackson and Paulinho who are quite close to it, so we'll have to watch out for that. Also, we're going to, of course, do the top 5 every single week. We give our top differentials for the coming weeks, and we're going to be looking at game week 21 and 22 in today's episode. And, of course, we will be looking at the quiz, which we always love at the end of the episode, just to kind of give a light heart feel. But, yeah, our first pod of 2024. Happy New Year, everyone. And hope it should be a good one for everyone in FPL as well. So, we're going to start, obviously, looking very quickly at game week 17 and brushing over the kind of period between that. So I had a pretty bad week in game week 17, 52 points. But I've got to say the last couple of weeks have been much better for me outside of 17. So I went on the pod for only one bonus point ahead of game week 16. And basically had a situation where I had no keeper. So I brought in Sanchez. And, of course, he got injured straight away, which talked about on the pod. So it is a shame. What I did do for 17 was thought, well, Areola's become unflagged, so that won't be a problem. We've got Wolves, and end up not playing Fabianski, even though Areola conceded 5. It seemed that Fabianski was definitely going to play that game, but no, instead that was a painful one, and I had Turner on the bench, so that was no keeper again. But in terms of transfers I made that week, I only had one free transfer. So in the end, I brought in Solanke for Haaland, and I did Porro for Mark Gay as a -4. So the Porro transfer against Forest did work. Ultimately, it was a nice one. Obviously, that Spurs game, as a Tottenham fan, Laura, I can imagine that was a nervy game because, they were holding on to that clean sheet at the end.
Yeah.
It was quite a game, wasn't it?
I brought Porro in that week as well, so I was it just looked like we were going to concede as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it was a tough one to take as well because I brought in Solanke the week, obviously, the very unfortunate, and our thoughts go out, of course, to Tom Lockyer, but it's great to hear that he's back, discharged from hospital with his cardiac arrest. So because of that, Solanke's points obviously got wiped as though it was a blank game week, which is fair enough, I think. Ultimately, FPL, what else could they have done? And they're going to reschedule the game for later on in the season. So at least, Solanke's got a future double game week. But
hasn't he scored since then as well? He's been really, really good.
We actually had last time on the pod, we had a good suggestion as a differential from George, the Arsenal fan. So you'll be pleased with that, RJ. He went for Solanke as his little differential shout because he scored a hat-trick against Forest, and that obviously was really good. And scored against Fulham as well. So yeah, look.
I'm surprised he was under 10% anyway. Like most of the people, especially higher up in the mini leagues, all have Solanke at this point. Like as soon as Haaland got injured, it's either him or like I don't even know who else people had. People have Watkins. Loads of people have Watkins actually.
Watkins and Kuna.
Kuna. That's someone I wanted to mention.
Yeah, definitely.
I went completely differential when I took Haaland out, and I went for Jimenez.
Oh, really?
He flag kicked someone and got a red card that very week.
He saw you transferred him. That's what happened.
Yeah, literally.
I reckon, Law, you listen to the pod last week because I had Jimenez as my differential shout and he got sent off that week.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant.
At the end of the day, it was a small red arrow. What wasn't too bad in the end. And as we said, a kind of weird game week. Obviously, Palmer did well against Sheffield United. The City clean sheet wipe out again. I mean, they just can't seem to keep clean sheets at the moment. And then, of course, we all knew that Salah was going to blank in that game against Man United. It's just typical FPL.
Yeah.
Did everyone captain Salah that week?
Yeah.
Which week was that?
17.
I don't think I did actually.
Oh,
I captained. Oh no, I did. I looked at the wrong week. I almost captained Sterling. I'm not gonna lie. I almost captained.
Oh really?
Sterling, but I didn't. I had Sterling and Jackson that week. I bought them both in, which is good.
Yeah, well, clutch differential for you that week, of course. RJ Kudus doing well for you.
Yes,
that was nice to see.
You're nicing me a bit too much. We'll have to talk about that. Law hates that because I had Kudus on the first sub bench. So because the Solanke points got wiped, those beautiful 16 points came off the bench. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's
turned a red arrow into a green. Yeah.
Now, you know, at the end of the day, you could say it's lucky or you could say it's good management, right? You got a good squad.
That's exactly what I said previously.
I don't think you could have predicted what happened in the Luton game.
But in the episode we brought out, I had Kudus starting. So I don't know what happened in between that time. Yeah. So I don't know.
I think he's been on the bevs.
I don't know why I benched him. I have no idea why I benched him. But yeah, it worked out in the end.
So in game week 18, of course, that was the big blank week. Obviously, Brentford and Man City because of the Club World Cup. And it was actually ironic that a lot of people, their Brentford City players, like Burmo, Haaland, were injured anyway. So it was almost like we'd sold them before that point. But I suppose a few people had like players like, you know, on the bench, Flecken or Pinnock or Alvarez.
Yeah.
But ultimately, a much better week for me. Even though it was a very similar score, I ended up getting a green arrow, 53 points. I mean, my transfer, again, I took another -4 because I was just -4 heavy. And this week, of course, I bring in Dubravka when he concedes against Luton. So that was not exactly great. I know that you've got Dubravka, Law. Do you think that was a bad transfer?
Yeah, because the only time he's got points, he's been on my bench, which was this week.
How many points did he get this week?
8.
8 points.
Save. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
I mean, I kind of think at the time there was no other keepers to get. Like, Dubravka was just, you know, nailed. We thought, obviously, there's hopefully no January signing for Newcastle.
It just didn't see the demise of Newcastle's defense as well. It wasn't forecasted. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if anyone watched that game, how bad were Newcastle? They were so awful. Jesus. Yeah. I'm sorry, Newcastle fans, but it's not looking good, bro.
Maybe with Botman coming back, it might, you know, they might sort things out.
For like 3 games, though, isn't it?
Yeah, he's not warm up from his injury, though, isn't
it? He's still got a little bit of an injury at the minute, yeah, but that's what they can say.
Yeah. It was painful as well. You know, the worst bit about it was the fact I sold Turner in game week 18.
And then he started.
And he got punched, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, why? Just why, honestly.
I benched Areola that week.
Yeah, well, I did as well. So Areola got 8 points. I mean, yeah, I think I actually might have sold Turner a bit before for Sanchez. Basically, whatever I do for goalkeepers, it will just be painful. But the other transfer I made was Solanke, of course. No, I already had Solanke, sorry. I made, Palmer obviously was already there. The one that was really, really good in that week was Watkins on paper, a home fixture to Sheffield United. And then he won.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you remember what happened? What I did on 18?
Oh yeah,
I triple captained Moussa Diaby.
You triple captained Moussa Diaby.
I looked at it and I was like, they've got Chef. This is an easy one. And then I triple captained him, and the 9 points looks good, but that means he got 3.
Yeah, the juices were flowing.
I know. And then my bench as well. I had Areola on 8 points, Gabriel on 10 points, and Taylor was 6. So I had like almost as many points on my bench as like half my team.
Wow.
It was that was a bad week for me. Who did you captain? Did you say Watkins? Roberto?
Yeah, I went Watkins.
At
I mean,
18.
The worst bit about it is I sold Isak, right? And obviously it was all right in the end because Isak, he ended up getting benched against Luton. But then the week after against Forest, Isak scores, and it's of course Turner that concedes as well. So it's it was dreadful.
I went differential with my not differential, but I went different to Watkins. So I actually captained Salah that week. And
got 7 pointer. Yeah. Imagine if I just accidentally put that triple on Solanke. That would have been like my best week of all time.
Yeah,
I'm so sad.
As a Spurs fan, I can understand why you captained someone against Arsenal though. So
I've got to repeat it. I've got a bate that he just left the room and came back. But RJ Jack in game week 18, triple captained Diaby.
What? Wait, what?
Yeah, no. Just leave him confused. Yeah.
Wait. No.
Right, even if you triple captain Diaby in any season, he wasn't even starting. Like,
you know what I mean? Yeah, it was a risk. Like, if whether he was going to start or not.
I know. I was like, I was just really like, they've just beat City, Arsenal, Brentford in a row. This is great. And then they drew 1-1, and I was like.
But even then, like when they beat City, it was 1-0. When they beat Arsenal, it was 1-0. When they beat Brentford, it was 2-1.
This is Let's just stop talking about this.
Wait. We can't do that. We don't do that. We don't let things go here.
Slides.
It was a single game week.
I know. It was a bit like when you benched Kudus. It was just that last second thing, and I was like, you know what, triple captain week, why not?
It's not the same level.
I'm trying to justify it.
No. That's a powerful chip, buddy.
So that went really well. We got 9 points after the triple captain, but
fair play. At least he returned, right? Watkins didn't return, so you know
he didn't return. Did he?
He didn't. He blanked in it as captain for all of us, I think.
He didn't return. Clean sheet point. I'd take that as a return.
Oh yeah, clean sheet point. Yeah, I actually am a genius.
Anyway, it was not a great game week 18 for a lot of people. Obviously, quite a low average of 30.
Really low average.
Yeah.
Game week 19 was a bit better. I mean, I actually got a lower score, but I ended up getting another green arrow. I rolled the transfer game week 19 because I felt that I needed to because I thought Haaland would be back by 20. And obviously, in the end, Haaland didn't actually play the game against Everton. But yeah, as you can see there, Areola on the bench. After I benched him against Arsenal, I also benched him in the Man United game, obviously, but before that. But Arsenal, I thought that was going to be at least one goal. I mean, RJ, how did Arsenal play so badly in that West Ham game? RJ's just not having it.
I don't know, but that game was painful. I can't lie.
There was so much overplaying passes. It was
but we had so many shots. What was it? 20 shots?
Yeah,
3 on target.
And of course, you knew that Mavropanos was going to score. It was written.
Oh, blood. Yeah. It was bad. It was bad. I was there, so it hurt. Yeah, I was there. Yeah.
So feeling good.
I really don't know what happened there. We tried to walk the ball into the net, and they had 3 chances they had 3 shots on targets and scored 2 of them. So, and one of them was the penalty save. It's ridiculous.
I was saying to Ray, the exact same fixture last season against West Ham, there was an overconfidence, and you ended up losing to them. Or drawing. I can't remember.
You said it to me. Yeah.
Was it you? Oh, sorry. I thought it was Ray. Sorry. Yeah.
No, it was me. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just a little bit of overconfidence. I don't know if it's just when you lot play West Ham.
The only thing that was different is that we were at home. Those first 15 minutes, again, top football, flicks and tricks everywhere. They were behind. We had Rice this time, but the second they got a chance, goal.
Yeah,
and we just got flustered.
How is this possible?
Mavropanos scored, and I think the other goal was it Bowen?
Souček. It was Souček.
Oh, Souček. Yes, that awful goal as well. Yeah, they were both dead goals.
Souček ever scored a good goal? Let's be real. He's always a header, isn't it?
Yeah. Back post, isn't it? Back post.
Yeah.
Bundles it in. Yeah.
What were your thoughts, Laura, on the goal? Did you think it crossed the line? Do you think it was out of play?
No. If I'm being very honest,
I completely forgot about this.
Yeah. If I'm being very honest, I think it crossed the line.
Yeah. Well, if we're being really honest, it wouldn't have mattered because they scored another one anyway.
No, Jack. No, it changes the game, and you know it.
Yeah. That's the one.
No, it was a weird week. Obviously, not many scores kind of going around.
Yeah.
Newcastle defense was terrible against Forest. Chris Wood, Jack loves Chris Wood. He talked about. Chris Wood.
I bought in Chris Wood 1 week for Haaland. I think was it Haaland when he got injured? I don't even know.
Excuse me.
I don't know. I remember I put him on my. No, I took him out a week before, 2 weeks before.
You took him out the week before the hat trick.
A few weeks before, yeah. Like.
Tough,
and then I just stayed away from Forest players now, but they're actually on a decent run of form at the minute.
Yeah, Nuno's doing well there, to be fair.
Usually Nuno teams are over defensive. That's why I thought they weren't going to do well.
Same.
Roberto, I'm seeing that we've done the same thing the last few weeks. We've both taken a -4. We both bench Areola twice.
Yeah.
Still, man.
You got to trust Areola,
exactly.
man.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll take the 11 points against Brighton. That was huge.
Yeah,
Still managed to get green arrows though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's good. Then.
Green arrows is all that matters at the end of the day. If I have a terrible benching, but I still get a green arrow, I'll take that.
Looking down the side of your team, just nothing but greens.
Yeah, no, it's nice. It's a nice sight, I have to say. And Hwang Hee-chan against Brentford. I went out that night and I wasn't watching any because a lot of people didn't have any games on that Wednesday night and players in the games. And Hwang was my only player. And I see at half time that he scored a 14-pointer, and I'm like, this guy is the king. And then he
messaged me, I think.
Yeah, messaged you. And then he went off at half time, and I was like, that's just FPL, isn't it?
Wait, he had 14 points in half a match?
Yeah, job done.
He went off with a back injury, and he got 14 points.
Bro, South Korea are going to win the Asian Cup if he carries on.
Exactly. Him and Son together, bloody hell.
Amazing time for South Korean football.
And what's his name in defense? That beast that Man United won.
Kim Min-jae.
He's a good player.
Kim Min-jae, yeah, he's very good.
And they got that one from PSG as well. They've got a decent team, man.
Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah. They could win actually.
But I still back Japan. I always love Japan. Whenever they play in the World Cup. Remember last year they were so good.
Yeah.
Just really well. They're just a good team. They're just like
disciplined, organized. Yep.
Yeah. So I was just relieved basically that in the end everyone played. Like Gordon played against Nottingham Forest. Like I basically had Taylor and nobody else because Mubama didn't play, and then Palmer obviously was suspended.
Has Mubama ever played?
I mean, he actually has. He played 15 minutes.
This is a touchy subject.
Yeah, well, game week 17, when Isak for some reason didn't play, when Gordon was the one that was a doubt, my sub for Isak was Mubama for 1 point, so that was fun. But that was also the week that Solanke's points were voided. I didn't have anyone to come in for him because Trippier was suspended and Taylor was. So yeah, quite painful. But game week 20 though, let's talk about that.
Oh yes, 90. Oh, you love when you get a big pointer. You do not
look at the smile.
Week,
look at the smile.
Bro, he looks like he's plotting something, man.
I have to say, this is not my high score of the season.
It was like game week 2 or 3, wasn't it? You went crazy.
Wild card game week 9, 97.
Oh, I was a few
97.
Yeah. But no, I made the one transfer in game week 20, and it was in the end a successful one. I brought in Alvarez for Mubama, and yeah, I was pretty happy with that, to be honest, because when I saw that the lineup, I was a bit scared about Alvarez. De Bruyne coming back, and Foden as well.
Yeah,
ended up starting. Do you think Alvarez RJ is worth keeping? Because obviously Haaland might be back soon. Is it one you just sleep on?
Yes, I think you keep him if you've got him already. I don't see Haaland back in maybe 2 weeks, maybe. So if you've got him, I don't see why you'd take him out. And I'm not against bringing him in for a couple game weeks either. I mean, you've got money to spare, so he's a good player, especially if they've got him up front now and they're trusting him with it. Foden's going mad. De Bruyne is coming back soon, so they're just going to be feeding him. Bernardo Silva's playing extremely well, so yeah.
Yeah, isn't he definitely. He's the only one that's played like all the games, isn't he? Like out of the whole City squad, apart from obviously like.
Well, Bernardo, yeah.
Yep.
But he was playing in midfield, so he was kind of going on notice. But now he's like moved a bit more to the right, and back to where he started for City.
A bit more aggressive, yeah.
I was talking about Alvarez. I think he started every game.
Alvarez, sorry,
yeah.
Oh yeah, he has too. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy because even like with De Bruyne and Haaland coming back, it might limit his minutes because he plays cam and striker. So it's like But I think the form that he's been on, especially like the past couple of weeks, surely Pep keeps playing him. Like surely.
Yeah, but you
never know. Yeah. Especially from an FPL point of view.
Yeah, exactly. You can never trust him. Never trust him.
Especially when they're young. Like, he doesn't care. He would bench you.
Yeah.
He
doesn't care at all.
Okay, your career is not important. That is not at the forefront of my mind, young man.
Yeah, you know what he should have done? He should have just kept Cole Palmer. Imagine if they'd done that.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Mate.
Talk about Cole Palmer. I'm absolutely astounded to see people benching him in Game 20. What was that about?
What were people thinking? I mean, how could you bench Palmer? Who would do that?
Forget Palmer. Who do you bench anyone against Luton? Come on.
I benched Nicholas Jackson against Luton.
That's fair.
He came on though. Yeah, he came on. He got 5.
Okay. Law.
I did start Sterling though, and he didn't play.
Yeah. I overthought it, to be honest. I just overthought it. Put him on the bench.
I saw that.
Who did you put on the bench?
Who
did you put on the bench?
18 whole points.
Nah.
That's how many he scored.
I thought he only got 15.
Yeah, 18.
You got a free bonus as well. Yeah.
Is he the highest scorer this week?
Yeah.
Yes. Must be.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been some real high scores, hasn't there? Salah 16, Areola 11 is like one of the highest scorers, which is mental.
Yeah.
But I captained Alvarez this week.
Did you?
That's not a bad shout though.
He returned, so.
Yeah. So you always think that when a captaincy happens, like obviously Salah's the one that everyone captained and he's higher owned, but obviously if you get a return, it's not,
that's
I think
bad,
point. Well, before I think it was a 9-point difference or something. I saw a tweet from FPL Focal was, the Alvarez captainers wasn't massively painful, but in the end, I think Salah maybe was the right one.
Yeah.
Well, people were like, when you're looking at the fixtures in hindsight, Salah was playing Newcastle and Alvarez was playing Sheffield United. So out of the two, I was just going to captain Alvarez. Like, is the easy choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Salah's just inevitable, isn't he? And of course, Dubravka and Gordon on the bench. I mean, who'd have thought?
Clever man, you.
Honestly, well, it's better than benching Areola, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. But Gordon, obviously, that's why I didn't want to sell Gordon. So I basically did only one free transfer of my 2. That was the Alvarez. So I've rolled the other for this week. And so Gordon, he's a long-term keep for me. I know that the fixtures and Newcastle's form has been terrible, but I just think
shining light. Yeah.
And he's plays every game. I don't see any chance of him getting rotated. I see Isak getting benched before Gordon does.
Yeah.
So that's the team. I mean, 96 points up to a nice overall rank of 302k, and
you've gone above me now. I'm down to 420k.
Funny is you mentioned that, Jack, because RJ said on the pod the last time I came on that if I was above him, that he wouldn't let me back on. So he's actually above me, so it's all right. I can stay on.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. It's still good.
I was like, I want to go back.
No, you are above somebody else though.
Yeah, above Law.
Yeah. I was slipping.
What? Yeah. How many are you on?
Tanking.
Only below Ray as well. That's
I'm just dropping, man. I've gone from 400k to 1.4 million.
Oh, that's a big drop.
In 4 weeks. Ever since I brought in Jimenez, I have been just drowning. DMX, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up.
It's only a few weeks ago, we're getting out the violin for Ray, and now
absolutely.
I could do with some of that violin.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Right. Should we move on to talking about AFCON?
Yeah, so we can talk about your Game Week 20 obviously as we go, but let's start with AFCON because I think obviously a big thing with AFCON is about Son and Salah, and we've got a question that we'll cover in a second. But if it was your team, RJ, and you had Son and Salah, would you sell both of them in Game Week 21, or would you just sell one, or what would be your strategy basically?
So right now, that's what I'm thinking about, whether to sell both. Right now, it's easy to go with one. I'm going because I've got quite a bit of value in both of them. So I lost 0.1 on Salah already from the first night. Everybody went crazy, got rid of him, and I decided to transfer out Son. I got rid of Son already. Yeah. So I saved that 0.1 there, and then I'm just going to see what happens because the next drop, because I've got so much value in him, it's not going to affect me. So I have time to wait to see what to do because hopefully Egypt go crashing out of the tournament. They won't.
Yeah, that's what
they normally do well. They normally do quite well. But it wouldn't make sense to hold such a high valued asset. He's gonna drop
because you can get anyone from that, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Even like the likes of De Bruyne. I mean, I don't think anybody's worried about him warming up. Yeah, no one cares about him warming up. Everyone knows De Bruyne is De Bruyne. So, I mean, if you're really brave, if you could get away with doing one, more power to you. But I think the best option is, if I'm going to advise other people, if I'm going to destroy my own team, is one thing. But it's the best advice is to just probably transfer them both on and not worry about the value, because they will go back up when everybody rushes back to them. So
absolutely,
yeah.
And I think as well, because Son is, a bit cheaper, you could maybe say sell Salah, because you're gonna not want that amount of money sitting on your bench. Whereas Son, maybe just because he's under, you could maybe say
that's what I'm saying. You could just get away with it, yeah.
But obviously, like in the long term, you'd sell Son. But I think maybe the money you can get from Salah this week could make your move better in the short term.
Very true. And also, it's more about finding what's going on with Haaland as well.
Yeah, finding out. And the doubles coming up, so you can plan accordingly.
Yeah. It's funny because it was looking like it might have been game week 20, and then obviously it didn't happen. So I wonder when that double will go in. Obviously, Bournemouth will have a double as well with their game against Everton. So Brentford players, Man City players will be interesting. Okay, that's a really good one. Thanks for that, RJ. And then over to you, Law. Obviously, what with AFCON and Asia Cup, some people will own a lot of kind of other differentials outside of the premiums, like Son, like Salah. So players like Hwang Hee-chan, players like Onana, if you still got him, would you say that they're definite sells, even though they're a bit cheaper and they're easier to get back, or do you think it's worth selling them when they go off?
Bit of a random one on Onana. He's been allowed to stay for the next game week. Which is
I heard about this.
Crazy turn of events, considering Kudus was told he had to get on a plane. Get out this country, man.
Started the RJ rant about Kudus.
Oh man!
It makes no sense.
I think Man United fans would love a break from Onana. I think that would probably be like their dream for a few weeks, wouldn't it?
So who's stepping in? Who's stepping in?
They've bought someone from the Turkish Super League this season. He's called like, I can't remember his name, but he's Turkish. And he's not a bad keeper, to be fair. I think he's probably like on the levels of Dubravka, not to put the name out there, but
okay.
Yeah, he's not bad.
Well, Dubravka didn't do well, so hopefully it's not that sort of level. But
it's a bit, it's just a mad situation that he gets to stay. He'll probably be he'll be the only one going away to these tournaments that stays for that game week. So it's crazy. But outside of that, for the smaller players, I probably just, unless you've got 2 transfers and you're only looking to get rid of that one, then you could switch to someone else. But otherwise, I'd just bench them. If you've got a decent player bench, I'd just bench them, wait till next game week. I wouldn't worry too much.
Absolutely.
The biggest movers are going to be Salah and Son, so you probably won't even see that much of a price change anyway.
There you go.
It's a good point. Really good point. So,
well, which teams do you think are probably going to suffer the most from AFCON, like actually football-wise? Because in my opinion, it's probably
Forest is
top
of my list.
Yeah.
Well, Forest have the most gone, right?
Yeah. They've got half a team missing.
They've got Chris Wood still, so it's all good.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jack. It's got to be Liverpool.
They've got Salah's going, and Endo, by the way, who's been really, really crucial the past few weeks for them. He's going. So their midfield, they're going to have to do Curtis Jones in there or get someone in January for a couple of weeks? I don't even know.
Yotta's back as well, so that might help. But
I have to add in that as a Spurs fan, losing Son is
that's massive.
It's devastating.
Yeah. You don't trust Richarlison and Brennan Johnson? No?
Kulu, I trust.
Kulu's good. I like watching him as well.
He's very good. Very good.
Or just get, what's his name? Brian Gil. Get him out there on the left.
Okay. Let's all start.
know by now, Jack's playing FPL in a different way.
That's funny.
It's what we love to see. So, yeah, that's a really interesting chat. Hopefully that will help. Obviously, we'll talk about one of the questions we've got coming up about that. So just looking ahead of game week 20 and obviously into 21 very quickly, and we can kind of talk about your points last week, RJ, firstly. This week it was interesting. You said about Kudus, and that was obviously frustrating. How many free transfers did you have going into game week 20, and you know how did you do basically? What was the kind of?
I had 2 and I only used 1, so I decided to bring in who did I bring in? Estepinian.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I brought in Estepinian, because I knew he was Brighton, basically. So I just brought him in quickly before everybody else did. And I rolled my second one into 21. And I got 86 points, which is a very decent green arrow, but it wasn't looking good in the first place because my captain was Watkins and not Salah.
Yeah.
So everybody went crazy with Salah, and managed to scrape a green arrow, Areola, Estepinian, Palmer, Saka, Salah, Son, and Watkins as captain. They did the business for me. So we managed to. I'm thinking I'm at 109 overall rank. So I think it's like a 5k drop, really. But in between the game week, I think I went up by a couple. So it's all right. Yeah,
I like the Estupinian transfer. I think is that the first clean sheet Brighton have got all season.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it is actually.
Oh, since he's gone out,
but he's just so attacking. I remember watching the start of the season. He sort of just bosses that line. Like when Mitoma can cut inside, he just stays wide, doesn't he?
Yeah. The goal he scored.
The goal he scored. Yeah, exactly.
West Ham.
Rocket.
Yuck.
Disgusting.
After I saw that, I was like, yeah, he's back. Yep. Straight in. Yeah,
I
took out Lascelles.
I mean, that's fair. Yeah. I think
Lascelles did well for me. Lascelles did very, very well for me.
Do you remember, Roberto, on one of my diffs, I put Lascelles in, and 2 weeks later, someone got an injury, didn't they? Or that week, or something like that.
Oh, is it your fault?
What? They stopped? I got him way before he was good.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, he's never really been good, let's be real. But yeah, so what transfers did you do? Sorry, you did Estupinan in for who?
Lascelles.
Yeah, is that your only one? Oh, yeah,
that was the only. So I rolled the second one, so I've got two to decide what's going to happen with this madness next game.
Yeah, that's true. What about you, Lord? Did you make any?
I did a wild card.
Oh, really?
Did a wild card and failed miserably.
How many points?
59 points.
Oh, you matched the average?
Yeah. It was two major decisions that killed me. One was going without Salah, and two was benching Palmer. Doing both of them was a killer.
So you got like
Son though. You kept Son though.
Yeah, at least Son.
Yeah, at least I got Son. Yeah, 9 points.
Did you have Areola?
Wasn't biased at all.
No Areola, no.
Oh my god, stinky.
Yeah, it's terrible. Honestly, terrible.
I like that. I'm gonna use that from now on. Stinky. Yes.
Stinky, bro.
Yeah.
I think the thing about wildcarding, Laura, is obviously it's more than 1 week, isn't it? You're building for the long term, and
absolutely, yeah. But it still hurts. So
you got to start on strong.
I'm still in pain. Thank you.
Roberto, how was your wild card?
Oh well,
did you wild card last week?
97 points, didn't I? Gave me 9.
Yeah, 97 points. Yeah, that's
it. Danger, yeah. 3 times, but yeah. No,
so
my missus wild carded as well this week, and she got 105 points.
Yeah,
bro, my missus is top of every league. I'm really annoyed. Literally, all of my leagues. She's won all of my FPL leagues 2 years in a row, and I stopped helping her this year, and she still beat me. You know what's worse? Do you know what the worst thing is? Her team last year was called Winning Part 2, and she won, and now and it's called Winning Part 3, and she's winning again. It's crazy.
It's a long season, Jack. You can come back. It's all right.
I can't. She's too
you got time.
So with my game week 20, I took a hit, I think, and I bought in Alexander Arnold, who got 0 points.
Nice.
Great. Always love that. I think that might have been for Lascelles. Yeah, it was for Lascelles. And then I can't remember who else I bought in. I bought in Alvarez, someone, but I can't remember who it was. But Alvarez did well for me, so that was good. But my bench was Sterling, Trippier, and Kulusevski, all good players that didn't play. Well, Trippier, did he play? No, he didn't. I don't think so.
No, he didn't. He had an injury.
No,
someone spending their Haaland money?
Inverted commas.
I was spending my Haaland money. I was like, I'm going all in. But, even if Trippier does play, he's got City, so they're getting hammered again.
Yeah, probably. The way Newcastle.
Oh no, this season's been weird though.
It really
all the results you expect to happen have not been happening. So true. I wouldn't be surprised if Newcastle's drag out a draw.
Well,
I would not be surprised.
Best defense in the league last year, and now they've just got one of the worst. I don't know what's happening.
It started the season the same way.
It started as well, yeah.
They won 5-1 in game week 1, didn't they, against Villa, and now Villa are just flying.
Yeah, amazing how things can change. Okay, that's great. Thanks for those game week 20 thoughts, and we'll get to your transfer thoughts ahead of 21 and 22 a bit later in the episode. Next up, then we're going to talk about an interesting kind of discussion. We talked about Salah, Son going off to AFCON. We're thinking captains for these next couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll start with you, Law. What are your kind of picks? Because obviously, outside of Haaland, who may or not be back for Newcastle or the week after, obviously he's not been perma-captain either this season as much as he was. So a few differential shouts. Obviously, Palmer got a nice kind of haul against Luton, but it's always a thing of like, do you just go for them because
it was also Luton, wasn't it? So
it was Luton, but Fulham have not been consistent defensively. They've been hot and cold a little bit. So yeah, what are your kind of shouts really ahead of game week 21 for the captaincy?
My top one is Foden.
Oh yeah,
my top one is Foden.
Who did we see? Have
Newcastle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and just how leaky they were. What was their expected goals against Liverpool? 7 something.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Dubravka, that would have been crazy.
That's insane. So yeah, for me, Foden is top. Who have I put second? Palmer, jumping on as you said. And
Come on, Luke Littler. Sorry, I'm watching the darts.
He's doing well, yeah.
He's drawing on sets at the minute.
It's time. The young gun.
Anyway, carry on, Law. Sorry,
no worries. I wanted to know. That's why I paused. And then my last one for this game week was Bowen against Sheffield United.
Oh yeah, I think you can captain anyone against Sheffield United. Although I say that, Alvarez obviously
it hasn't worked, has it?
Well, he got a return. Sheffield United Alvarez, but then we had the Watkins one against
Watkins one, yeah, and
Salah blanked against
Salah blanked,
Salah blanked, Son blanked as well. That was early on in the season. So
yeah.
I don't know. It's something about low blocks. I don't know. Is it hard to get a nail captaincy against Sheffield United, or is it just we're getting unlucky? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting game that because West Ham normally sit back and counter, and Sheffield United aren't gonna come at them. So what happens? The ball just stays in the middle.
That's true. It's very true.
I like the shouts. I think Bowen is. To be honest, when I was planning my team a few weeks ago and I was looking at captaincy for this week, Bowen was the one. If I owned him by then, I haven't actually bought him in. But to be honest, the performance against Brighton, I was quite.
It's put me off a little bit. Yeah, same. Yeah.
I like it. I do think on paper it's probably one of the best shouts. And so that's really nice. I think Palmer as well. Like obviously the fact that he's got a home game, Fulham. Defensively, I mean, from one week to the next, they can win 5-0 and then they can concede 5. So it's hard to know what they're going to do. All right, RJ, what you're saying for your differentials for game week 21's captaincy?
Well, I don't think he's a differential pick, but he's a differential, but he's definitely a differential captain.
Yeah.
Law, hold your chair. Richarlison.
Ooh, I like it.
Richarlison against United. I think that's going to be a decent one.
Not Cooley.
Yeah. Not Cooley. Only because he's down the middle.
Yeah.
But I also think Cooley's been a great shot as well, but he's missing Son.
It's scary that he didn't play last week. But was he injured or something? I don't know.
No, 5 yellow cards.
Yeah, 5
yellow. Is that what it was?
Cool. Yeah. But yeah, I think Richarlison seems to have found his feet in. He's found some sort of purple patch with Spurs. So with Son going, I don't know if it's gonna hurt. I don't know if it's gonna hurt him with Son going. Yeah, but he's definitely gonna be down the middle. So his confidence is high against an awful defense in United with this keeper from the Turkish league.
Onana's still going to be there for that game.
He's going to. Oh yeah. Don't get me started.
Probably better. Let's be honest. He's going to make something.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true.
I'd actually rather Onana than someone trying to prove himself. I don't need a keeper trying to prove himself playing against us. I'd actually rather have Onana.
The thing about Onana is that he's actually one of the highest scoring FPL keepers.
It doesn't make sense.
But to be fair, haven't they got like the highest clean sheets in the league still?
Maybe.
They just win 1-0 against I know. I swear it's United. Let me check.
I think United might be top, or at least second or something. They're up there.
I think like the performances you watch Man United, you think how are this team ever capable of keeping clean sheet?
No way. Doesn't make any sense.
But yeah, I like doing it. I think definitely Richarlison. Yeah, as you say, he's playing through the middle, and if it was any other player, I'd say go for it. But Richarlison's the sort of player when you buy him, he just suddenly is frustrating. You hate him. He's like one of those.
I've never bought him before, so I would never know. I've never felt that pain.
And then when you
clean sheet, sorry, you carry on, Roberto.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, when you captain him, obviously it's a big, leap of faith, and
it's a big balls move. It's a big balls move to captain Richarlison.
It also could be absolute genius if it comes off.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it just for the fact that I hate pigeons. Like they're my worst fear, man. I can't go near that, man. With the clean sheets, by the way, Arsenal, Liverpool, Newcastle are drawing top on 7. I don't know how Newcastle have kept that many, but United are on 6, second with Everton. Everton are on 5 defensively.
Yeah, since Newcastle's clean sheets were from the beginning, and Everton's clean sheets were ever since they got the
10-point deduction.
The 10-point deduction.
They've been crazy since then.
Yeah. Really got a point to prove.
Daishi's on it.
What's your next one, RJ? Then.
Lord took some good ones because I actually think Palmer and Bowen are great shouts.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I don't see the only thing about, do you know what, more Palmer than Bowen actually, because Bowen is missing Paqueta. He's missing Kudus as well. So I'm assuming they're going to push up James Ward-Prowse to be the cam and be the creator. But then again, they've also lost Aguerd as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Or Aguerd,
fair,
So I mean,
it's push Souček up there. They've been doing that more than they have Ward-Prowse, but that's not going to end well because
I don't think that. Yeah, exactly. I don't think that's a good shout. Yeah. Because that changed everything. So yeah, probably more Palmer. I think Palmer's a good. Oh, and then Nkunku. He should do well against Fulham. Fulham, I know they have their funny side of things, but
he's a different asset, isn't he? Like a lot of
people. Yeah, I think he's trying to just ease him in. Poch is a bit smart like that, I guess.
He started the previous game and then didn't start against Luton.
Did he start or come on?
He came on against Luton.
He came on and he scored.
Came on, yeah. No, he didn't. Did he score? I don't know.
Did he get points?
There's one game where he came off 20 minutes and scored. It was that.
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
His first game. That was his first game that he came back. Yeah.
And he didn't play
at the moment, I have Bowen captain, so I look like a bit of a dick. So,
do you know what? It's not bad. It's just we don't know how he's going to get service. That's all it is. But in terms of Bowen being your captain, I mean, you can't really go wrong. It's just Salah went wrong at Sheffield United
still a
as
good
well.
Player. Like he could get some scrappy.
Yeah, he's an amazing.
So you're going with Richarlison, Palmer as well, and are you going to go with Bowen as your third shout? Or
yeah, I'll go with Bowen. Yeah,
you got 3
I don't think it's a bad shout.
Yeah, no, I've got 2 of those actually. I've got Bowen and Palmer because Palmer was the one when he's hauled against Luton. Not that it's just like confirmation bias, but like, I was thinking about him before the Luton game, and then that made me think a home game. Obviously, he's on pens, and Chelsea. I never quite know with Chelsea whether they're going to score goals, but I think just get them on his own. He's that good. And also Bowen as well. Like, I don't know if I'll bring in Bowen now that he blanked against Brighton. Has put me off a little bit, but if I had done, I might have put him in my captain.
Yeah. By the way, I've just seen that James Madison's at the darts as well. So
is he?
Is he walking around freely? Does he look free?
No, he sat down. Yeah, he's actually sprinting. He's sprinting up and down the aisle.
Doing jumping jacks.
He's
actually got a shirt on. It says "I'm starting." So
yeah, there you go.
Amazing.
Yeah,
bring him in, everyone.
Injury news from the top. Love that. That's really good.
That's crazy.
My third shout. Do not go with this because I guarantee this.
It's an option that you should never take.
Yeah. Advice you should not listen to, but also might think about listening to. What about Jota?
No, that's a great shot. I don't think that's a bad shot at all.
Yeah, I think against Bournemouth they could. Yeah,
but
I like Jota.
Will he actually return? Because he always seems to score off the bench when he doesn't get minutes. When he starts, though, he always seems.
It's a different player. Yeah.
But I don't mind.
Same thing again though with Bowen. He's not got Salah there, and Endo's not behind him, so. I think he's going to have to do a lot of covering. We don't know which position they're going to put him in. But in terms of the person to pop up out of nowhere is Jota.
Don't overlook how well Bournemouth have been playing recently as well.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been playing really well.
They kept clean sheet against Fulham and United and Palace in the last 5, so their defense is looking pretty decent.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think it could be a really interesting week. Okay, those are some captaincy differentials for you guys.
Whoa! Don't forget about me.
That's not very nice. That's not very nice at all.
You know what? It's been great. This podcast has been great, guys, and I'll see you.
He's missing the darts and all sorts, and you forgot him. He's
been waiting for an excuse to get off of this one.
was engrossed in the darts. And just,
right. I'm going to say my 3 really quick. I had Bowen as well. Okay, Bowen as well. I had Alvarez. I know he's got Newcastle, but Newcastle have been leaking goals.
They're leaky, yeah.
And my third one, you'll like this. It's Saka or Jesus. As an
Saka.
Arsenal shout. I don't know which, but Crystal Palace are just not as scary away from home. Like, it's really hard to go to Selhurst Park and play, but Arsenal are at home. They've just lost 2 games on the trot. I think they're going to want to come back, and Arteta will hammer it into them, and I think they're going to be really, really good.
Yeah. Do you know, I don't think Arteta's going to say a word.
Yeah.
I don't think I think it's one of those games where the players have to just be like, look,
no light bulb, no drawings,
nothing. Just puts the team sheet up on the wall and walks straight out.
No, he sits there with his arms crossed, staring at him, just like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I also do have a rogue shout as well. I've gone similar to you about it, but I've gone with Darwin Núñez.
Oh no!
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No,
absolutely not.
He has Bournemouth, and Liverpool scored 6 goals in the last 2 games. So
Núñez, he can't shoot.
I just think
absolutely.
You watch when he gets 17 points next week.
Absolutely not.
That's what made me
minus 17.
You guys watch. He's gonna do
it. He's gonna fall into the box, do a front flip, and score some weird goal.
It's a broken record. I'm saying Darwin's gonna do it. I'm sorry. It's over.
It's so bad. I don't understand. I say this so often, but he's so good at getting into position for goals. But finishing wise, oh my Lord. As I want to say, he's a chaos merchant, isn't he? But he just can't finish.
Well, he's got 2 goal involvements in his last 2 games, so he's starting form.
Are you going to captain him? Are you going to do it?
I don't even have him in my team, but
okay.
I'm just trying to sound like a genius here. That's what's going on.
I don't trust
that's my 3. Thank you for forgetting about me, Roberto.
No, you're engrossed in the darts, mate. I can't lie. I thought you were going to forget as well.
Littler's winning 4-2 on sets, by the way.
Oh wow!
His first to 7, I think.
The other Luke was looking pretty good.
He was amazing. Did you guys watch
yesterday?
Last
night? He destroyed him.
Yeah,
destroyed him.
But anyway, back to FPL instead of they should do darts, fantasy darts. That'd be amazing. So are we doing another captaincy one, Roberto, for the next week, or are we doing moving on?
I think we can move on because, to be honest, like that probably covers for most discussions around fixtures. So the next thing we're going to be doing is going to be the top 5 diffs. We do this every week. Last week was some interesting shouts, I have to say. I didn't do too well. Quite a few of my players got benched. I mean, Nketiah got an assist against Brighton, so that's a return, as did Ferguson in the game against Tottenham. But also, I did have a good shout of Jimenez. Let's forget the fact.
Was this last week or the last podcast?
It was the last podcast. So
a few weeks ago.
Covered a few weeks basically. Now, forget the fact Jimenez got sent off. He scored against Arsenal, so I'll take it.
So what's his net point?
What's wrong with you? Like, why are you keep coming for Arsenal? I don't understand.
Hey, I said that Saka could be captain.
You did. You did.
Fair play.
You did. You did indeed.
In the end, not a great week for me. Also, we had some great shouts. So James on the pod last time said Matheus Cunha obviously did really well against Everton. And also he went for Richarlison against Everton. And we know how well he's been doing recently, Richarlison. So some good shouts there. Obviously, we talked about George with Solanke. So, yeah, some really good shouts. But what are our shouts this week? Because with a lot of premiums, those differentials are really going to have to come in clutch. So we'll start with you, Jack. What are your top 5 diffs for game week 21?
Well, we say top 5, but I've not got them in order this week. So sorry, unorganized producer. But so this player, I said all these on my TikTok, but none of you would have seen that. So it's great. He has 6.6% ownership, and he's one of the top point scoring players in the league, more than Odegaard, Núñez, Isak. It's Matheus Cunha. I think having 6.6% ownership at this point, I think he should have a bit more. People will be put off by Brighton, Man United, Chelsea in his next 3, but all 3 of those can leak goals. Brighton haven't been great defensively. Man United, well, if Onana plays like he does, there could be a whitewash. And then Chelsea as well, I think that they can leak goals. I don't know what else to say, but that's my first one. Matheus Cunha, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I like it. I think
like that.
Wolves have scored a lot of goals recently, and obviously Hwang going is going to hurt Cunha, you'd imagine, but he can still score goals without him.
He's going to be the main man now, right?
Right.
Even though Brighton did get that clean sheet, they are not defensively strong. So yeah.
Yeah, and Estupiñán's more attacking than whoever was playing left back there before.
If you buy Estupiñán, you're looking at attacking returns 100%.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
Just uber capable.
Yeah, definitely.
So my second one, this is someone we need to wait for news on. It might be more of a game week 22 thing, but it is James Maddison if he's back. It counts as a differential because he's on 7.9% owned. And if he is back, if I see him sprinting at the Tottenham game, the darts even, I'm bringing him back in. But need I say more? If he's back, you got to bring him in, right? He's been one of the best players of the season, and he's not even played that much.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think he'll be so crucial when Son is missing. They'll need that kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because he can really bring people like Richarlison into the game when Son doesn't. Number 3 is going to be Douglas Luiz at 8.6% owned. I'm not really proud of this one because I don't really like bringing CDMs into the team, but he's still scoring and assisting. He had one recently from a penalty, didn't he? And whenever they do get one, he's going to do it. And if you are getting a bit more Salah money, you might be able to afford an extra bench player for 5.5 million or something like that. Get him in there for a couple of weeks. Yep. Why not? But now to these two that I think are a bit better. This man has 5 and 5 currently, and as Man United next week, Richarlison.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I think we all have Richarlison in our top 5.
Sure,
we must do it.
Yeah. He's on such good form at the minute. I think against United, he's going to score at least 1. 4. No, I won't say that actually.
Yeah, no, I like Richarlison. I know as a Watford fan, when he
I don't like him as a player. Oh, a person even. He's just so annoying. But as a player, I don't mind him.
The sort of player that always argues with the ref, but for FPL, he's quite good. So
yeah. And my last one at 5.6% owned. I did really want to put João Pedro in, but he's 11% owned. It is Evan Ferguson. I think with Mitoma and Adingra both going, it does give him a more chance to get some minutes. He didn't play last week, or if he didn't get many points. But he did get an assist against Tottenham in 21 minutes. I don't think that was last week. I think it was the week before. But if he does get the minutes, we know he can score. Obviously, he had that hat trick earlier on in the season. And I think if Matoma's gone, they can play Danny Welbeck out that side. They have done before, so he might play up top. You never know.
Yep.
I like it. All
That's my 5. Let's hope they get some good points.
Some game week differentials then for you, Law. What are you saying, game week 21?
So my first one, I might as well get him out of the way, as he's already been said. 6.9 million, 7.2%. Richarlison up against Man United. Yeah, it just makes the most sense. Probably one of the most obvious differentials. And then I've also gone for Bernardo Silva, 5.2% owned.
Yeah, you cheeky boy.
Yeah, absolutely. A minute on there.
Yeah.
Do you think Bernardo Silva on a real level, Law? Obviously, that season, a couple of seasons ago, he was amazing, and everyone brought him in, and then he kind of dried up again. Now this season, he has been kind of going under the radar a little bit. But do you think it's like his returns are going to stay consistent? Do you think it's sustainable?
I think it's a slight patch while they don't have Haaland or De Bruyne, because he's just playing a little bit more on the right. Once those two come back, and maybe Doku comes back as well, and they put a more conventional winger out there, or maybe they move Foden back out there to make room for De Bruyne, then it's going to go back to what it was at the beginning of the season, which was quite quiet. But while he's playing in this position, right? Yeah, exactly. But while he's playing in this position, his attacking returns are there. And then, like I said, against Newcastle, who I overlooked this week, and I'm not doing it again.
Fair enough. All right, what have you got next?
Next one is Jimenez. 1.5% owned.
Who's he got?
He's got Chelsea.
Oh yeah.
I think Chelsea, I think they're not as good against teams that are in form. They're just and I don't know. Fulham are like without Jimenez, I think they lost. But then when he was playing, they were flying, absolutely flying. And then
Chelsea are one of them teams. Like you back them to get a draw against Man City, but they'll definitely lose to Sheffield United.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I've got Jimenez in there, and then the last two, Pascal Gross, 3.9%.
He's only on 3.9.
3.9%. 5 assists and 1 goal in his last 8 games up against Wolves at home. So,
He's scary though, because he can sometimes play for like fullback CDM, and you don't know.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. You can put him absolutely anywhere, but they are a little bit short, so he has been playing a bit further.
There you go. So.
That's why I've gone with him.
Yeah, I like it.
And then my last one is my lowest percentage, 0.7% owned.
Please be Chris Wood.
McNeil.
I like that one.
Yeah, because I think Villa away, they do give up goals, and Everton have been playing really well. So
Dwight McMessi.
Yeah.
So he's on similar points to Gross now, no?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. I like it. No,
I really like those. Yeah, McNeil, I wasn't expecting that, but looking at his points, could be one to watch.
Mm-hmm. All right, what about you, RJ?
Okay, so first two, let's get them out of the way with Richarlison and Bernardo. So we same reason you guys said earlier. That's the first two. The next three.
No, come on, back yourself.
I do back myself.
Is this a Roberto moment where he's like, no, don't do this?
He's not been doing too well, but I think having been taken off quite early, I think it's going to light a fire in his belly, and that's Martinelli. He's 5.4% only, 7.7 million. He's a bit on the expensive side, I think. But as I said, we got Crystal Palace at home and then Nottingham Forest next. I think those are two fixtures that I think you could do very well in. Especially, we need points, and I think he's been a lot more direct than Saka. So in terms of getting involvements, I think he could do a little something. So
do you know how many times I've said Martinelli in these top 5 diffs, and he just doesn't return? Like, let's hope you're right.
I hear what you're saying, but this is what happened last season. Everyone took out Martinelli, and then he got in a double-digit haul twice.
There we go.
And I was one of those people to get rid of him as well. So I think everyone's left him behind. Everyone's gone against him. So I think maybe this could be a good couple of days, game weeks for him. Next one is Bailey. I was a bit shocked. Shocked at his ownership. His ownership is 3.7%.
What?
People still hurting from last season, man. They
can't I've looked at it like 3 times to double check if it really is that bad, and it is. I think 3.7% owned, and he's 5.7 million, and he's getting it. I know he was injured a little bit before he got his goals, and then he's really getting his minutes back. And I don't see why he's not a shout. He's got Everton away, then Newcastle at home, who've been leaking, and then Sheffield United away. I think he can get quite a few points right now.
Yeah, he's been proved to be like a big hitter. He got points against City, he got points against Arsenal. He can do it on the big stage. But I think what people look at is he's only played one full 90 minutes this season, and that's what people are scared of. I didn't think it'd be that low, but I thought, that's the only reason I'd be scared to bring him in.
We talked about it on the pod in the last episode that it's almost like it looked like it was going to be favourite DRB, then Bailey was always on the bench. And then recently, it's a bit of a reversal of that. Bailey has been the one starting and DRB's been benched. And now it feels like it keeps alternating, but you don't know.
Yeah, that's the scary part. You don't know.
I wonder if they ever play them together. But he's got 6 goals this season and 5 assists.
Yeah,
5 a minute. It's not bad, man.
Really good.
That's similar to DRB as well, right? He's got like 5 and 5.
Yeah.
So most of the others were beginning of the season, though, weren't it? Whereas Bailey's been more recent.
Yeah.
And my last one.
Yeah, I thought you didn't have one more.
Yeah, the fifth one. Yeah, I didn't want to. I had a defender and a midfielder, but I'm not going to go for the defender. That's boring.
No. None of us going for a defender. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's boring. That's what it's boring. It's boring. Let's go Elanga. 2% owned.
Yeah, I like it.
5 million. The games next is Brentford away and Arsenal at home. 3 assists, 1 goal in the last 3 games. Yeah, Elanga.
He's one of their best players as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Him and Gibbs White. Yeah,
and Gibbs White. You saw was it United they played?
Yeah.
And he's saying that look at their faces, they don't want to be.
They don't want to be here.
They don't want to be here. It's like, okay, that's how they're moving.
And then it panned to Eriksen and he looked lost.
Yeah, man. Like he dejected. He did not want to be there for real. I think Elanga 5 million as well. Like we've been blessed with great midfielders this season. So if we manage to have 5 midfielders that are playing, having that 5 million will save you a lot of money and also get you points. Yeah, man. I think Elanga's a great shot.
Yeah, to be fair, he's got 2 in his last. No, he's got 4 in his last 3 games, 4 returns.
4 in his last 3, yeah. 3 assists, 1 goal, yeah.
Goal that Man United scored, Gibbs White. I was like, where's Manchester United's midfield? Like McTominay was absolutely nowhere, and I'm like, the tracking, it was terrible goal, but brilliant finish. White, Elanga got it there. So I like the Elanga shout. Okay, there's some really good differentials. Thanks for that, RJ, Law, and Jack, and I think my differentials for Game Week 21. We've talked about him already. I like Jota against Bournemouth. I think if he starts, which I think he will with Salah gone. Obviously, Diaz could be a shout as well, but I think I prefer Jota's explosiveness. Diaz is a bit disappointing in terms of the points he kind of gets in the
output,
end. But his output. But Jota, whenever he plays, seems to score. Obviously, got sent off earlier on the season, but that was a freaky one. He's 2.3% owned, and I think he's going to probably play through the middle because I think Darwin can sometimes, but he can maybe play on the wing as well.
Left, yeah.
Gakpo as well.
Captain Darwin, guys, go on.
Agenda from Jack there, but no, the next one I've gone for is a defender. But I think a good chance of a clean sheet against Sheffield United. I've gone for Emerson from West Ham because he's quite attacking, and obviously cheat against Brighton, and they've actually got clean sheets in their last 3, West Ham, which is quite impressive. So
I didn't know that.
Attacking threat for Emerson, it's just 1.2% owned. So if you're going for a defender, maybe he's the one.
Well, especially if they've got Kudus in that out, they might use him sort of more as a wing back.
Yeah, that's true. He might go a bit further forward. We talked about Richarlison as well. I'm also going for a Spurs player from that game. I think Brennan Johnson is the one I'm going for because he's been quite positive the last few weeks. Obviously got a few assists against Everton. Also got an assist in the Bournemouth game. And yeah, Man United, we said, defensively not been great. And Brennan Johnson, I would imagine, plays most minutes. What's your situation with Johnson? Do you think he will get the starts, even though obviously you've got players like Hill, players that
he's above Hill, he's above, and then after that it's a bit thin anyway because Son's not there. Solomon's injured, Perisic is injured, so it's thin up there anyway.
God, is Perisic still at your club?
Yeah, he had ACL. He's done for the season. Yeah, got an assist at the beginning and got done. He was doing quite well for us off the bench.
Yeah,
he was like
he knew that was going to happen.
Super sub. Yeah, he was like a good super sub. But then, the injury, he's done. And I don't think he'll be with us next year either. No. So
that sounds like he's died.
Yeah, basically.
So who do you think they're going to play in the middle?
With Bissouma and Sarr missing, Bentancur's back, so they'll play. I think they'll play Bentancur.
I love Bentancur.
Actually, what they might do is Bentancur, Lo Celso, and Kulusevski in the middle, and then Brennan Johnson, Richarlison, and Brian Hill up top. That's what I think they might do.
They like a double pivot, and they're like 2 CDMs. What's his name? Got injured last week, didn't he? Sarr, he's
off to AFCON anyway. So apparently the injury wasn't too bad, so he can actually.
Of course, it wasn't. I just wanted to get early flight.
Yeah,
he was in tears when he came off the pitch, though. He obviously thought he was.
He had to stay in London. That's why.
First time on a private jet.
That's really I think Johnson, he doesn't score many goals for Spurs, but he does get assists, so at least a chance for attack and returns there.
I think the goal is coming though. He gets in good positions. The goal's coming.
He's been so unlucky. Like he got injured against hit the bar against Newcastle. Like the haul is
injured
coming
against Arsenal as well. I think he came off the bench against Arsenal, got injured almost straight away.
No, he's very unlucky. the tears are out. The tears are out. John McGinn. You talked about Bailey. I'm going for John McGinn. I know he's a bit like Douglas Luiz. He's a bit defensive sometimes. You think, why have they brought in John McGinn? But he is quite, consistent for starts. Obviously, he does take set pieces as well. Got the assist a few weeks back, but also scored against Man United with that kind of fluky free kick that went all the way through. I just think he's very solid. Like he's just dependable, clean sheet points as a midfielder. 2% owned. Maybe it's a bit of a risky one, but I don't mind it. And then
he's got a cannon.
He has got a lot of ability, and he always scores goals in FPL. And we think, why do we never bring him in? But then as soon as you bring him in, he'll blank. So it's one of those things.
Yeah. And then you bring him in, and it's like, why is he on my team?
Yeah. Why did I ever think this was an FPL athlete? When you're like, he scores points. It's weird. Yeah.
Well, the worst thing was at the start of the season, my dad, he's very bad at FPL, by the way. I don't know where I get it from. He had John McGinn, Douglas Luiz, and Rodri in his midfield, and I was like, "That's 3 CDMs. What are you doing?" And then Rodri got the 10-point haul. Yeah.
Wow.
What it is, Jack, is he must be thinking he's playing Sky Fantasy because you get points.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I don't think he's ever heard of Sky Fantasy, to be honest.
McGinn is the shout I've gone for. And then finally, I've got Eberechi Eze. Now, obviously, Elise is out injured. A real blow for Palace. But
wait, Elise is injured?
Yeah, got injured at the end of the last game, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Peak. Yeah, peak.
I would have picked him if it wasn't for that. I mean, I think he's probably missing the Palace game in the FA Cup, but whether he'll miss Arsenal as well, we'll have to see. But I think Eze...
They can't keep them both fit.
No, they can't play them together.
That's the other thing, right?
The world will collapse.
As soon as you bring in Eze or Elise, they will get injured straight away. It's just that's what happens. But I think Eze, the last couple of weeks, he had an injury of himself, and then he come back and he scored against Brentford, and it was a really good goal actually. But he's on penalties with Elise out, and I think he just Arsenal. I know we've talked about they've not quite scored as many goals, but also defensively, I think games at the Emirates, it almost seems like there's more chance of teams scoring. It's like
Zinchenko is a liability.
Yeah. So I think if anyone scores in that game against them at the Emirates, then it probably is him. And then I think in game week 22, Sheffield United is the fixture for Palace. I'm pretty sure. That's a really good one for Eze. So yeah, that's what I've gone for. Those are my top 5, and we can quickly move on to game week 22 because I've had a look at the fixtures. There are some really juicy fixtures like Palace players, but again, outside of Eze, would you really go for him? If you've got an Arsenal player like against Forest, we know how defensively they've been. The one that really interests me, whether people go for it or not, we'll have to see. It depends on Haaland, obviously, because if Haaland is back by 22, which he probably well will be, we're going to want him for Burnley. But it's whether people go for like the more risky shouts, because by then De Bruyne might be fine.
I was thinking De Bruyne.
Alvarez might be an injured out, a fitness kind of minutes playing doubt because of Foden, De Bruyne, and Foden the same. So it's whether everyone goes all in on this Burnley game, but it's tempting, isn't it? Because Man City destroy Burnley.
Yeah, well, when I wrote my captaincy options, I put De Bruyne out or Haaland for that week because I both.
Yeah, I did Foden/Haaland that week.
Definitely.
If Haaland's back and De Bruyne is fresh from injury, I doubt he's going to be doing a lot of running. And we know what De Bruyne is like. He's just going to ping it.
Yeah,
he's just going to ping it around the pitch, and Haaland's going to enjoy it because he's been missing him, especially. Exactly. It's ridiculous.
And we've been talking. I was going to say we've been talking about Man City with the game against Newcastle. If they score a few against Newcastle, then everyone's going to bring them in, right? So you kind of have to have someone, I think, in that game week 22. You'd think. Yeah.
I think as soon as they see that BUR with the brackets H, everyone's going to bring him in anyway. Of course. Right, should we move on to the quiz, Roberto?
Yeah. We've got the quiz this week as well.
This excites me every time.
It'll be really interesting. I think I've got a few kind of so we couldn't do hot potato this week because it's quite hard. Obviously, we don't want to have like and stuff. But this week, we've got some questions. One of them, a couple of them, we got some career path. So basically, where players have gone, and you've got to guess the player. Before that, though, we've got some FA Cup and some FPL questions. And
FA Cup.
So obviously, FA Cup kicks next weekend, and this is a tough one because I've got
Wait, how many questions have we got, by the way?
So we've got 5 questions in total for the quiz. First one is FA Cup. And I'd like you guys to get some buzzer noises as well. So, Jack, what is your buzzer noise going to be this week?
In memory of my favourite man, Chris, I'm going to be Wood. Oh, no, that's... fuck it. Yeah, let's do
Wood. When you said your favourite man, Chris, I thought you meant Chris, co-host of the podcast.
Chris Sebastian, sorry, he's not here today, so I can't mention him.
No, I'm sure Chris would be pleased to know you've shouted him out on the podcast.
Yeah, I've texted him.
Yeah. So I like that. No, Wood, simple. Chris Wood, of course that is. And then what's your buzzer noise going to be, Law?
I'm going with the default ring.
Ring.
Oh. Is that the default?
Default, yeah.
That's on your
mobile. Mine's short buzzer noise.
What about you, RJ?
Nice and simple.
Oh, well, everyone's going to hear that one first because you're just going to shout it.
Exactly. That's if I know the answer.
No idea who's buzzed in because RJ just goes, "Sue."
Yeah.
That's good.
That's just the... Yeah. No, anyway.
Question 1. All right, we'll get into it. FA Cup round. I'd like you guys to tell me which Championship side knocked Newcastle United out in the FA Cup 3rd round. Which Championship side in last season FA Cup knocked them out in the 3rd round?
Is it Middlesbrough?
Incorrect.
Do we get frozen out, by the way? Like, I get frozen out, so they've done one.
Get frozen out, and then Law and RJ, and then it's back to you.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hear anyone typing on their keyboards right now.
What are you saying, Law? It's you next on my screen, so we'll go with that.
Okay.
We're not doing. Okay. I thought it'd be whoever buzzes first out of them two.
That's what I thought. I mean,
let's do that.
Bit of bias there.
Ring.
I should have said.
Luton.
No.
Oh, me.
The only side he knows.
Yeah.
A championship this season as well.
Oh, this season. This season. But it happened last season.
Last FA
okay. Okay.
I don't have a clue.
No one?
I have absolutely no clue. No.
Go on, give it a punt.
I'll give you a clue to help you out.
Whoa.
What are you saying then, Jack? What are you saying?
I'm going to have another guess, and I'm going to say West Brom.
And it's wrong. Okay, I'm going to give everyone a clue just to get it a bit easier, right? They're a team in, drum roll please.
If he says like Middlesbrough. They're a team in Sheffield Wednesday.
It's a team in Yorkshire. That's my clue for you. A team in Yorkshire.
And they're in the no.
Any clues? Anyone buzzing?
Rotherham?
No.
I don't know where Rotherham is.
Is that in Yorkshire? I'm trying to think what teams in Yorkshire.
No.
There's only a few teams, to be fair, in Yorkshire. One of them is in the Premier League this season.
But they're not the ones that knocked them out.
Yeah. Give us another clue. Tell us one of their players that we might know, and then we'll just do like a whoever gets it first from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now this will really test your championship knowledge. One of the team's players, Barry Bannon.
Yeah, that hasn't helped me at all.
Nah.
Wait. Wood? Is it Huddersfield?
No. All right. I'm gonna have to give you a clue because this is not working. They are the same region as one of the teams that got promoted to be in the Premier League this season.
You've already given us that clue.
Have I?
Luton, Burnley, and who's the third team?
So it's not Sheffield Wednesday.
Is that a guess, RJ?
Yes. Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday.
That's correct.
Oh, you mentioned that earlier as well.
I said
you said something about Sheffield Wednesday and you didn't even react.
Oh, they're in Sheffield Wednesday, and then
yeah. The funny thing is, Jack said it, and none of you guys picked up on it.
Oh, I didn't say it.
I just saw Sheffield United, and I thought, hold on, you mentioned it earlier, and you did not move. Your face froze. So I was like, maybe
that's a sign of a good host.
Poker face. That's what I do, right?
All right. Well, that's 1-0 RJ then, isn't it?
1-0. Okay. Question 2.
I'll take it.
Now, question 2 is: we've just had the end of 2023, so I'm going to go through some FPL events in the year of 2023. Some memorable moments for our fantasy football teams. The first one of 2023, Alexander Mitrovic had a double game week. He had a game against Leicester away and a game against Chelsea at home. A lot of people brought him in, but he had a suspension tightrope with the yellow card ban coming up. And people brought him in, and he got booked in the first game against Leicester, but he also scored. So, guys, can you tell me, if you captained him in that game week, even though he missed the Chelsea game, how many points do we think he got, roughly? What's our guess?
I think it was. Yeah, sorry. Buzzers.
What are you saying? 14? I can say that is incorrect. RJ?
10.
Correct. He's got it.
Oh, it's because he got a yellow card as well, didn't he?
He got a yellow card minus, yeah.
Got a yellow card and then didn't play the Chelsea game. So that's RJ is absolutely smashing it.
No, I had him in that one. That one I knew. I had him. I felt that one.
The next one will be interesting. Liverpool 7, Manchester United 0. A week that a lot of people took out Salah and Darwin. I was one of those people. Took him out on the wild card. That was the most depressing FPL week of my life. But that game, there were a few players that hauled big. Now, Salah got a 21-pointer. Darwin, he got a 12-pointer. But what about the guy that started the scoring in the first half, Mr. Cody Gakpo?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask who it was. Okay, no.
What are you saying, RJ?
11.
Oh, it's close, but it's incorrect. Got a chance here, Law. You can buzz in. Any
ring,
guesses?
ring.
Yeah.
12.
Oh, it's close, but no.
Away. Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
All right, I'll say higher. I'll say
13.
lower.
Oh,
Wood. 12.
Did you say 12?
Said 12 already. Yeah. It's not
Wood.
12.
11.
You said 11 already. A bit higher.
Hold on.
We said all of them.
Hold on. We said 11, 12, and 13.
11 and a half.
Have you said 13?
Yeah, someone said 13.
Yeah, I said 13.
Wood 14.
Ring, 14.
Oh, you said Wood. It's 14.
Yeah.
You said Wood.
I could have sworn. Oh, did one of us say 13 and not 14? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I just said 13.
Because he said lower.
Yeah. You know what, Roberto? Maths is hard, mate. Maths is hard.
Yeah,
Right.
quick maths. Fair enough. You got there in the end, Jack. So fair play.
It's just pressing and guessing at that point.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing this whole quiz.
Yeah.
What we'll do though, we'll give 1 point to each of you because you got the Mitchell one, RJ. So 1 point for you. So two up for RJ, but then 1 for Jack. And this is your round, Law. I reckon this is your round.
Okay.
Right. This is next up a Premier League question.
Finally.
What did Roy Keane call Liverpool fullback Andy Robertson when he went down after an apparent elbow from linesman
Ring.
Constantine? Yep. What are you saying?
Baby.
Correct.
Baby.
Smashed it. Absolutely.
He's a baby. He's a little baby.
I needed that.
He's a little baby.
Very good. Very good, Law.
Where's Paul Pogba in all this?
You love to slam Paul Pogba. No, that's really good. Well done. Okay. That's interesting now because it means that it's 1 for Jack, 1 for Law, 2 for RJ, but it's all to play for in question 4 because this one is the career path. This is worth 3 points for each correct answer.
Whoa.
What? Okay.
Wait. This is what. So, RJ, you might be in the mud here, mate.
Question 4.
Yeah.
Paths. You get 3 points if you get this right, and then number 5 is also career paths. You get 3 points. So, first one I've got. I'm going to list a few teams that players have gone between. You've got to tell me who. First, to basically get them.
You're doing them in order.
So I'm going to do it in order of when they joined, basically. So I'll start off with the first, like basically oldest team. Yeah. So the first one, question 4: West Ham United, AFC Bournemouth, Tottenham Hotspur, Portsmouth. I'll repeat that again: West Ham United, AFC Bournemouth.
Oh,
ring.
Yeah. What are you saying, Law?
Parker?
Incorrect.
Oh, that was a good shout, though.
Was that a buzzer for you, Jack?
No, I said ooh. I said Wood backwards.
Oh. Sorry, say this team again.
West Ham, Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Tottenham, Portsmouth.
Is that all the teams he played for?
Well, it's teams I've chosen. It's not all the teams.
A lot of people
all the teams, man.
Because of Redknapp, innit? So it's hard to go with that one.
If I give all the teams, it will give it away. I can't.
Oh, I don't know then. Because
how many more teams after is it?
All right, I'll give a couple more.
No, just how many is there?
Like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Oh wow. Oh, damn it! What's the word? Is it Prince?
Who?
Oh my God. Boateng.
No, it's not. Right, I'll give you the teams after Portsmouth. Tottenham, again. Toronto, Sunderland.
Ring.
We saw a ring. Law.
Defoe.
Correct.
Oh, I was gonna say Defoe. Went back to Bournemouth at the end, didn't he?
Yeah.
Back to Tottenham.
I couldn't remember mine. Mine's the easiest buzzer.
That is absolutely massive from you, Law, because that means you're now ahead with those 3 points up to 4 points. That's RJ on 2, Jack on 2 as well, I think, or is it? Yeah,
I'm on 1.
He's on 1.
So I can draw with Law if I get this, and then we need a tiebreaker, surely.
This is massive. If Jack can win this, yeah, it will be a huge...
Here we go.
This is a winner question.
Next one, we've gone for Sporting, Southampton.
Wood. It's Eric Dyer.
No.
Sporting. Frozen out. I'm joking.
Inter Milan. Arsenal, Sporting, Southampton, Inter Milan, Arsenal.
Wood?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to go again? Are you?
Yeah, go for it.
Is it Cedric Suarez?
It is. He smashed it. Wow. I thought you'd get that.
He's a bum. He's a bum. I don't get that. I was like, who went from Inter to Arsenal? Cedric Suarez was at Inter.
Yeah. As soon as I heard, Sporting, I was like, it's either Eric Dyer is the only Englishman that's ever played, or it's going to be someone from Portugal.
I was thinking Vieira, but I was like, he wasn't at Inter.
Yeah, Dyer went straight to Tottenham. He didn't have
he's washed and all.
I was going to put Suarez Fulham on the end of that, but I was thinking he was barely at Fulham, so people might not even remember that. So it's it was a weird career Cedric Suarez has had. He's jumped around. He's been at Southampton for a while. But
you got one more of these, right?
No, well, I have now because it's a tiebreaker.
If you can get one up for a tiebreaker, RJ, you're gone, mate.
Tiebreaker. It's not looking good for RJ because that is 4-4 between Jack and it's 4-4 between
But if I get it, I could win.
Basically, if you get this, Law.
So it's just whoever wins this. This
is whoever gets it. It's a shootout.
You're still getting 3 points. Oh, this is going to be intense.
It's a shootout.
But it's 4-4 between.
Is it another career path?
And Jack. It is another career path, I should say. All right, next up. Are you ready? We have gone for the following player. Now, I'll start from the very beginning, just to give you a good chance to get
coming off for this one.
3 points. Right, first team we've got for you is okay. Come on, it's not coming up. Yeah, there we go. Right, it is Tottenham. Then it's Dulwich Hamlet. Hasselholm. Tottenham again. QPR. Portsmouth.
Ring.
Yeah.
Tarabut.
Nope. It's close though. Unlucky. All right. After Portsmouth, Aston Villa. Norwich. Back to Villa. Obviously, end of loan. Southampton. Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Wood.
Yeah.
Is it
Buzzer.
What's his name? I said Wood.
He said Wood. He said Wood.
Is it? What's his name?
He's got it on the tip of his tongue. I'm gonna have to time you out.
Oh, yeah. No, is it Ricky Lambert? I'll just fucking say some random.
It's actually not far off Ricky Lambert, but it's not Ricky Lambert. All right. After Portsmouth, Liverpool, Portsmouth, Tottenham.
Fucking hell, it's been everywhere.
Stoke City. Burnley.
Wood.
I have to say that was a tight one between you and Jack and RJ, but I think it was RJ there. I think I heard the start.
I really hope he's wrong.
I really hope I'm right. I couldn't tell.
I thought it was me.
I need to make sure I get this name right.
Who did you hear first?
What was your judgment, Law? What did you hear first?
I heard RJ first.
I think it's Russ, but I'm gonna go. What are you saying, RJ?
Go on, RJ.
I'm not sure about this. Is it Charlie Adam?
No, it's not. So
Is it Peter Crouch?
It is.
No way!
Of course it is.
Unbelievable.
Of course it's Crouch.
Of course it is.
He's a little Tottenham 4-timer boy, isn't he? Oh,
of course it is.
I was certain that you had got. I was like, he's going to say Crouchy.
I forgot about Crouch.
Of course it is.
Well done, Jack. Quiz
Stewards inquiry. There's too many Spurs questions. Too many Spurs questions.
It's in your round, Law. I was.
Yeah, I know. Mine went blank. The pressure got to me.
Maybe I don't want to say anything, but Spurs pressure. I don't know, but
I'm shocked you didn't get Defoe.
I can't believe you bottled it like Arsenal doing this season.
Oh, what? It's only 2 points, bro. I know.
All right, well
done, Jack. Well done, Jack.
Roberto. Yeah, okay. I'm going to go watch the darts with my father.
That's pretty much it for the pod. I hope you have enjoyed. Obviously, if you have to go, Jack, we'll just kind of quickly end with the listener questions, and then we'll kind of wrap up the pod. But yeah, we'll go through those listener questions now, if that's okay, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'll see you later, guys. Right. Enjoy the listener questions.
Again, Jack, Appreciate
nice speaking to you, lads.
Good to see you, Jack.
See you later, mate. No, it's great stuff. Well done to Jack for winning that quiz. I've got a couple questions then for the listeners. So I'll throw this over to you guys, RJ and Law. First up, FPL Maestro said thoughts on captaincy with a spread out game week, because of course game week 21 is really spread out. It is across a really long period. From game week deadline for 21 is 11 o'clock Saturday 13th. And that's Chelsea Fulham, the first game. So we said about Palmer, like maybe the early kickoff, it's less of a factor when there's so many games that are across different days. But you've got that, and then it ends on the 22nd with Brighton Wolves. So what are your thoughts really on captaincy? Because maybe that thing about kind of the Gandhi rule, the early kickoff doesn't apply maybe with the kind of spread out games. What do you think, RJ?
Yeah. I'm going to avoid that early game, but I do still think Palmer's a great shout.
He's my second best option for me.
Yeah. It's one of those game weeks. They don't happen often that we're not going to have a template captain, because you want to say it's Watkins, you can't say it's Watkins. You want to say it's Palmer, you can't say it's going to be Palmer. So Solanke's playing Liverpool. We don't know if Haaland will be back against Old Club. Yeah, I think if you're going to go for a punt on a captain, this is the game week. That's why I was bigging up Richarlison against United. I think that's going to be a decent shout. I'm not going to mention the pounding because that's not gone too well recently. So I'm just going to say Richarlison. I think he's a great shout for a captain, man. If not, then Palmer.
Yeah. And what do you think? Do you think the fact that this game week is spread out, makes an impact on who your captain's going to be this week, or is it just you pick the player with the best fixture?
No, I just picked the player who I think is going to get the most points, regardless of what time or day their fixtures on. I don't. I've never really let that pay too much attention to me picking a captain. My pick this week is Foden, though.
Yeah,
my pick is Foden. I just think that Newcastle defense hasn't got stronger over the last few days. So
that makes sense. I like the shout. He's the sort of player for captaincy that sometimes is a bit risky.
It's scary because you don't know, innit? Yeah, the team sheet. Like wait until 4:30 for that team sheet. It's going to be
it's sort of it's so explosive. It could definitely be a really good captaincy. So I like it. Okay, hopefully I'll answer your question, FPL Maestro. He's also asked, interestingly, best Son and Salah replacements. We talked about that earlier on in the video. What with them going off to the Asia Cup and the AFCON especially. So. With week 21 replacements, what were our favourite picks? Because I'm looking at and thinking we've talked about Villa players, Douglas Luiz, maybe De Bruyne back, Jota, but do you think the kind of more template, more sensible ones, maybe Saka? What are you thinking, Law?
If you don't have them already, then maybe moving towards that. As RJ's mentioned already, Richarlison for Son seems like a very simple switch. And then Salah to maybe, if you don't have one because you've got rid of Haaland, the City asset, just to attack this game, that's also an option.
Do you think with
Foden,
do you think with the blank against Brighton, do you think you would avoid Bowen against Sheffield United as a Salah replacement, or do you think it's worth just kind of biting the bullet and going with him?
I don't think it's essential.
Yeah,
I don't think it's essential because, as RJ's mentioned, West Ham are weaker without Kudus and Paqueta as well. So I wouldn't say it's essential to get him, but I do think he's going to do well over the next few weeks. So
he's a template pick at the moment. Everyone's running to Bowen. So I mean, if you want to be, if you've already got a few differentials already, maybe go a bit template and get Bowen in, and then against Sheffield United, you can't really go wrong. So makes a lot of sense. Keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Really, maybe one template and one differential that could work.
That's definitely the play. It makes a lot of sense. All right, hopefully that's good for you, FPL Maestro. And then we've got one from my K-Man fan. It's Matt. So he said, which teams do we think are complete avoids because of their players missing from the Asia Cup and AFCON? So we talked around about Wolves. You know, they're going to miss Hwang. We've got Salah, obviously, going off for Liverpool. Do you think there's any teams you would just completely steer because of their absentees?
Yeah, I mentioned them already. Forest.
I'm targeting Forest. Targeting Forest,
decimated.
I think as well, like with them, they're so reliant on the kind of presence of someone like. I mean, I always think when Awani was playing, like he was huge for them. Obviously, he got injured. I thought that was going to really hurt them, but obviously Wood's been really, really good. But certainly, yeah, I think the amount of players for Forest that are going to be out for their team is really going to hurt. You'd think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Forest.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Okay, and then the twin father has asked, if I sell Son and Salah, how many price drops do you think I need to make in like a minimum loss when you buy back? Because the thing about Haaland is he's also dropped 0.1 since his injury. So his question is, how many price drops do we expect Son and Salah to get? Because as we've said, Salah was kind of mass sold after the game against Newcastle.
Yeah,
Son will be the same, but is it worth kind of basically stomaching these price drops? Because it might be then kind of harder to buy them back if we've got less team value. So what do you think, RJ?
It's a tough one because FPL decides to mess with us sometimes, and a player could drop 0.2 and then they'll lock it because they're aware of the tournament. But they've never actually, I'm not aware of any guidelines on the ruling of whether they lock it or not. But again, if you're going to get rid of Salah, the earlier you get rid of him, the better, because when he drops, he will go back up again. So buy him early when he comes back, and then you can jump on the price rise and maybe catch a 0.1 or 0.2 out of that as well. I think everyone's quite set on getting rid of Son and Salah, so I'd say just change him as soon as possible rather than wait until you see what happens, because we know he's gone. And like I said, Egypt normally do well in AFCON. They're the top, one of the few top winners in there. So yeah,
that's really good.
I'm slightly the opposite though. I think if you've got both, then look to sell one and hold the other through the price drops, just to get more information on who to bring in. Because there's likely there could be potential news on Haaland, potential news on double game weeks.
Yeah.
So just
I suppose if you spread all the money out, right, and you sell both Son and Salah, and then you've used up the money, then you can't get Haaland back when he's back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So for me, if I think it's sell one, hold the other for more information.
Yeah.
To make it easier, so I've sold Son. I did it quite quickly because I had 0.4 of them, and it was easy to get a transfer in for him. And I've held Salah to find out more because of the value I have in Salah.
Exactly.
To get a striker and a replacement for him as well, because I got 2 free transfers. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Case study, and hopefully people will kind of relate to that. So that's really good.
Yeah.
Cheers for that, guys. No, that's some really good advice. Okay, we're just going to end off then by kind of looking at how the mini league got on, because thanks for those that did join around kind of the start of the podcast. It's been great to see the last few weeks. I mean, there's been some tough games for me, especially. I was around kind of first in the league around game. Yeah, and then I've dropped down. I'm dropping like a stone, and I'm now dropped to 14th. So there's 20.
Why do I not have this mini league code?
Basically,
I'm gonna get it off you.
We had a mess up with the mini league. Basically, we sent out this code, and then what happened was we managed to somehow lock anyone else from joining. I don't know how it was quite incredible. So apologies that no one else can join now. But it's a head-to-head league. That's what we've done. So
okay, that makes sense. Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
it's got 20 people in it because there's 19, and so it had to be 20 to be head-to-head, and so average is in there. And every single week, average is losing. So average is bottom of the table and hasn't changed.
That's a good league. Yeah.
It's good stuff. And Stefan has gone up to first. It was no FPL for a long time, top of the table. And then recently as well, I think there was Swagato got up there. But now Stefan is top. Great team name. You better check yourself. Very, very good.
Yeah, like that.
Yes, really interesting results from Game Week 20, especially because 80 points from my opponent in Game 20, Jamie Burgoyne, but my 96 carried me through, so very, very relieved about that. Also, co-host of the pod, Chris, he also played against Gabby T, who got 80. He got 66, so it's an unfortunate loss there for him. And as I said, no FPL. He's absolutely smashing it. I mean, how he's not top? He got 104 points this week. Incredible stuff. I mean, that was massively helped by, Areola, Palmer, and all the like. He had Richarlison there as well, which helped out. So, yeah, some really interesting stuff. And fixtures for Game Week 21. I mean, I've had a little look. There are some tasty ones. Head-to-head games. I mean, I've got no FPL, so I'm worried. He's in form. And, it's going to be a tough one. And then Chris has got Stefan, who's now top of the league. So it's tough for both of us. It'll be interesting to see how things go. But we're going to end off the there. Thanks again, RJ and Law, for coming on. It's been an absolute hoot. I've really enjoyed it. So just well done for being great guests. What can I say?
Thank you so much for having us, man.
It's been a pleasure.
And so make sure you guys go follow RJ and Law on Twitter. If you guys want to shout out your handles.
Mine is at only1_law.
And mine is at _only1RJ.
Absolutely.
And of course, if you want to get the podcast, is at only1bonus_point with the number 1.
I was going to say that, yeah. Of course, follow their pod. They've got some great stuff, and of course, Ray is really good as well. They've got great kind of a bunch of kind of interactions, and every week it's banter, and every week it's great. So just fair play, you're smashing it. And also make sure you do watch out for the next pod, because that will be coming at the end of the kind of January period. When February starts, we've got some hectic episodes coming up. So we've got a very good one. Hope we're going to really do well on that one with Alistair Bruceball, BBC commentator. On the 7th of February. Before that, we've got a great friend of mine, Ben, from the Chasing Arrows podcast, the Chasing Upside podcast. That will be really good fun. And then, of course, we've got FPL Nim as well from the FPL community coming on. So,
sick.
Yes, on. We're going to really going to cram the episodes. We'll get back to a kind of normal schedule in February, but we're covering off a couple of game weeks here. So, hope you have enjoyed. Of course, make sure you follow us on Spotify, the Former Temporary podcast, and of course the Twitter tfit_pod. But that's where we're going to end things off this week. Hope you have enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye, everyone.
See you later.
See you later.